Fired up for this one, boys. We have Henry versus Bose. Zero chill elims win and get in game. This is Henry's win and get in game. Bose's win and get in game for the zero chill tournament. This is going to be a good matchup. It's going to be a great matchup to learn from. I think that these two players are really uniquely matched up here, and there's going to be some really cool things we're going to get into from a schematic perspective that you're going to see. Let's talk a little bit about a backstory. Of course, we've got Henry coming off of really his worst season ever in Madden 25, at least from an MCS perspective. Had his pretty much his worst performance since he started competing back in Madden 20. I think he only made one live event and missed Madden Bowl for the first time. Now, you're going to see that he is going to be setting up this dollar defense. And this is interesting because Henry was running really the same kind of concept out of the Dime 2-3 Sam with the most recent patch, but he is back in dollar here for elims. He's been rocking dollar this entire tournament run today, and we're going to take a look and see what he's got going out of this. Now, he is going to be running strong safety zone blitz. Now, I believe that this is also the defense that his primary lab partner and I think good friend Kobo runs. So I want to get into kind of what you're going to see here. So just pause this. You get to see some adjustments. But effectively, what he has done is when you come out in the play, this is a blitzer. This is a blitzer just like this. And Henry has basically changed that. And now what you get is by stunting or slanting your line to the right, you're going to get this A gap loop angle right here. So at the core of what Henry is doing, he is running a four-man loop defense. And generally speaking, we'll probably see him run that four-man loop the entirety of the game. The thing about dollar this year is the reason you would want to run dollar is you would want to run dollar primarily because it's a symmetrical formation that is going to optimize for two things. Number one, pre-snap adjustments and switch sticking. As you can see here, Henry has changed the coverage entirely, basically. Like the coverage comes out with like a seam flat here, right? And what Henry has done is he's created a cover three buzz basically on this side and then a cover three with a curl flat over here. Now, what's the purpose of this? What are these adjustments? All of them have a purpose, right? So this hard flat is designed to stop spacing switch, which is the good table route here from the back. It will also help kind of defend against the drag, which is also why you have this hook right here. Now, what is open on this would be a corner route. Henry would have to switch stick to the third to defend that. On the right hand side here, he does something that, interesting to me is, normally you just see like hard flat, shade down, cover three, and we ball like that, right? But what Henry does here is he has a curl flat, and I don't know if that curl flat is stemmed or not, or not stemmed, but zone dropped. I want to say it's a 15-yarder, 15-yard curl flat. Could be just a basic curl flat. We'll see as the game goes on, but I do think it might be just a basic curl flat here. The other thing is he's got his running back manned up with his user. Why does Henry do this? He does this a lot where basically I will say one of the things I like about when I watch Henry play from a strategic perspective, I feel like when Henry has figured out a way to use a switch stick based defense, which is dollar, a little bit differently than what we saw Fancy use it last year, which kind of plays into this conversation because last year Fancy had the best Madden MCS season of all time. He in Madden 25, and he's had a pretty down year this year in Madden 26 by the standard that he set for himself last year. Henry comes off Madden 25 being one of his worst seasons and primarily chalking it up to two things. Number one, a lack of preparation, and number two, and most importantly, not adjusting or adapting to the switch stick era that Madden is basically played on, building your defense around the switch stick feature because it is the best defensive feature in this game, regardless of really anything. It's the only real way to play good quality defense. So now you get into Madden 26, and so far up to this point, Henry won the ultimate kickoff tournament. He made a final. He lost in the finals to John Beast in a close game in the most feared live event. He did not play in the Madrid event, I believe. He's already secured a spot in Madden Bowl, and this is a win and get in game for the Zero Chill tournament. So he's having a good year himself. He's kind of back to his standard of performance. And then you have Vose. Vose is kind of one of those players that's been on the edge of breaking through for the last couple of years. He's made a live event, but really outside of that, in the MCS perspective, hasn't gotten a belt, hasn't done all those other aspects of it. And so, but he comes into the game, right, being right on that edge, a cusp of breaking through. He's been winning, get in after winning, get in after winning, get in. He's made a live event, and he's actually been doing some cool stuff on the defensive side. We're going to talk about that a little bit as well, but he's going to be in this Bunch X Nasty. So anyway, with that background, this is kind of what you're going to see schematically. The main thing with Bunch X Nasty, they're really, honestly, the more that I study this formation, is really broken down in a couple routes, right? The first one is this little speed flat. The second one is this cross flat. Those are the two most important routes in the formation. The third one is kind of the seam streak that you get out of motion HB choice. And then you also have kind of a unique little seam streak to the back as well. So anyway, so as you see, first play, you're going to get a flood concept to the right side. And let's just take a look at how Henry defends it. So one of the things, as I said, Henry is going to cross. See how he mans up his user. So his man up on the running back is really interesting. He runs motion cross post. So what you get here is a cross field flat. You get a what appears to be a slot fade, a streak, and a corner. And then I believe this was a backside in right. I don't think it was a backside drag. Let's take a look at it real quickly. Just want to obviously just kind of get the core of the scheme here that we're seeing, and it is a backside in. So here's what you get on this concept. So you're going to get a slot fade, you're going to get a clear out streak, you're going to get a corner route, you're going to get a cross field flat route, and you're going to get a in route. Now, what I notice about this combination here is that Vose is going to start the game with a pretty basic play, a basic high-low read, probably trying to just make the game easier for himself. And essentially what he basically practically does is he cuts off this side of the field. Like there's not a single route that's going over here. So from a read's perspective, his eyes, he's able to basically look over here and work this side of the field here. Okay. So that's what we get here. Whoops, what's going on with that? Okay, cool. All right. So anyway, so you get this high-low. So essentially, if you think about Henry's defense, right, he had the curl flat here. So watch how this curl flat kind of defends the corner. It's probably why he uses it. You see there, it's kind of defending. Henry basically uses, to a degree, this running back route. And then at the last second, he's going to switch sticks. So you see, switch sticks onto this defender. And what Vose does is he's using that quarterback playmaker ability. Playmakers this guy back into the open space of the field. That should be a throw there, but it's a good switch stick by Henry, and Vose decides not to put the ball in harm's way in that situation. A lot can be learned when you really just slow this tape down and you really study what they're doing, try to understand why they're doing it. Here we're going to see Henry goes to an interesting second down call, and he plays really good defense. I want to break down what he does. So this seems like a standard thing that Henry does when somebody audibles to bunch tight end, because he does it relatively quickly. And from a defensive line perspective, I'm not 100% sure what his abilities are, but I know that he's obviously got double or nothing on these guys. That is the best defensive ability in the game. Every defensive lineman in your defense should have double or nothing. Every pass rusher, if they're rushing the passer consistently, they should have double or nothing. However, I think that Henry also adds, on top of the double or nothing, he could add an instant rebate. He could add a buy one, get one. He could add any kind of other ability to make him shed a little bit better. I don't know. He could also just have, deep zone, deep out on these two guys, or inside shade on these two guys. So anyway, so take a look right here. So what you see is he actually uses a zone stem, okay, which it's kind of interesting that he decides to do that, but he does use a zone stem, which you don't see a lot of people using in this game, but he's going to use it. So, okay. So if you take a look here, you're getting that same thing. So you're getting the send 4, you're getting the loop. Now what Henry does is he creates a roll Mabel coverage. Now the way that he gets there is he's going to get a hard flat on this. That's going to take away this quick flat. And then this corner curl flat, he stems it up. Now I don't know for sure how far he stems up, but he probably stems it up to 20 yards. But essentially, he's trying to use this curl flat to defend this throw right here. So this is the defender that he's dedicating to that throw. The next throw, which is where he's going to have to be careful, is normally you see a slot fade and a streak. So what Henry would have to do here is he'd have to switch stick here, run this guy into position, and then we'd be okay. So anyway, we'll see if he takes that linebacker and puts him in a hook curl. Sometimes they do that too. And he looks like he does. So it looks like he puts the hook curl here. The purpose for that is the drag. Then this guy can now guard this route right here. So as you see at the snap of the ball, Henry switch sticks here to run this guy into position to take this throw away. If he does not do this, that is a touchdown, okay? So you see this guy's guarding the corner. This is taken away, and Bose actually decides to run a streak. I don't know what the running back's on. It could be on an angle route, just super delayed. And Henry's able to basically just midpoint those two routes, gets good pressure. And so right there, he goes to a send three. Now, the other thing that you're noticing a lot of these players do, especially these competitive environments, second and long situation or 3rd and 15, they will pass commit. Why pass commit? Because pass commit gives you significantly better sheds than if you do not pass commit. So because Bose doesn't have really a run threat, really, Henry's able to kind of pin his ears back and rush the passer. So here we get another little defensive tape here. So you see, what does Henry do? He goes basically cover 4. He pretty much creates it quickly, but essentially this is just a bend but don't break defense. These curl flats are actually a really good zone in this year's game for defending corner routes and things like that. So anyway, he's playing real passive here, and he's basically going to concede this throw. Like, he is not worried about that whatsoever. He's worried about a stemmed up curl or a corner pretty much. So he does a good job, and Bose does a good job of taking his check down. Now you get a 4th and 6. Anything can happen on a 4th down, and he is going to set some zone drops. Let's take a look at what he does. He goes to 10-yard flats, then he takes it off. 15-yard curl flats there. And those 15-yard curl flats probably just designed to stop any kind of short corner. And Henry sends 3. Henry does this a lot of McDowns, and he almost gets a stop right here. So Henry on a lot of big downs, he's going to send 2 or 3 and probably pass commit. Again, it kind of goes back to what I was saying before. You're pretty much never, especially in a competitive game, you're never going to run the ball on 4th and 5 or more. Probably would never run the ball on 4th and 3 or more, right? It's just rare that you're going to see that. So Vose is, unless they're obviously in a run-based offense, but Vose is not. He's in a passing-based offense. He's going to pass the ball, so that's why you're getting the pass commit here, okay? Now, the other thing is Henry's going to pass commit, but he's also only going to send 3 because in this game, the sheds are really pretty good. And so you're going to see, especially with the double or nothings, he sends 3, and he basically messes up an adjustment, I think. The curl flat, I do think he set those on 15. I would assume he meant to put a hard flat here or something. I mean, this is just too easy of a throw. This is this is the most popular route in the game. But look what Bose goes to, by the way. Again, he goes to the same concept he ran on the first play of the game. In this situation, you see the curl flat guarding, basically nobody on that, but probably the curl flat is dedicated for the tight end. They did put the tight end on a post there, but anyways. So anyway, just a lot to kind of take in with that first, sequence of plays, and that was, pretty good opportunity there for Henry to get a stop. Not able to do so. Obviously, in a competitive game, I forgot to mention this. Whenever you're playing a competitive game like this, or really any game, if you want to win, right, you want to always kick the ball off if possible. Now, Bose gives a little motion out here, and he's going to try to run a bomb play, and he's going to complete that. And you see Henry's face gets a little frustrated with that. He actually gets a PI for that. I hate that about this game, I will say. I feel like in the switch stick era specifically, but especially this game, I feel like they call PI for any kind of contact whatsoever, which I guess maybe is realistic. But anyway, so Vose is going to try to take the top off the defense. So how he's going to do this, again, you see pretty basic shell here from Henry. This is a very, very conservative shell, but it actually is pretty good. And the reason being is because, again, the combo you get from this formation is you get this combo a lot. And then you get a backside drag in Texas, right? So Henry cross-mans his user onto the tight end. So when the tight end runs a drag, he'll switch stick onto this guy and actually play this route. This curl flat will take the corner, and then these 2 routes will take the deep blues. So that's kind of like a specific adjustment sequence for a very popular play out of bunch tight end. However, Vose decides to motion out this guy on a curl. So he also snaps the ball quickly, so it's hard to kind of quickly digest it. Henry is obviously aware of this bomb and is going to switch stick it, but I wanted to just break down the specifics of the combo here. As you see, you get that backside Texas. So you see where's Henry did. He switched off of the man up, so that guy's going to take him, and now he's guarding this. But take a look at this play here. You basically get a curl, a super stemmed up corner, and a streak. And if we back the tape up just a minute here, the other thing is, honestly, the other thing is to me, this rollout, man, if they were supposed to kind of take this rollout and break it a little bit, and it's not amazing, but the fact that it's so effortless to get out of the pocket is crazy to me. And what reason it is because see how he gets a double team here? That could have been planned. I don't know. But also, the defensive line is going to shed to the middle of the field, so it gives this up every time. Instead of shedding outside, he's going to shed inside. So, anyways, you see here that this outside third, outside quarter is going to hold on this right here. So you see that? Holds there. He's out of the pocket at this point, and he's going to throw this on a timing over the top. Henry switches to this quarter, and you see, I mean, this is wide open. But he switches here. He drives on the route, and he's able to quasi-handle it. But Purdy able to throw the ball where only his receiver can get it. Ags him, gets the ball inbounds, and he's going to be able to get a huge play out of that. 1st and 10, and this is getting close to that red zone area of the field. Henry going to just go basic hard flat on the left. Nice little route to the back. Was that the in route? So another route here, popular route. Yeah, it was. I'll take a quick look at the play art here. So he basically, here's what Vose is going to do. So he's going to run tight end wheel, one of the most underrated routes in the game. It's a good flat. It beats man coverage. You have to have a hard flat to guard it. Henry's going to have a hard flat. So what the wheel is going to do is it's going to pull this guy out. Now, Henry's playing a lot of cover 4, conservative. So what Vose is going to try to do is put this defender in conflict. And the reason is because he's going to have a little speed in to the back that's going to get open really primarily in this pocket, which is kind of that hook curl area of the field. So as we take a look at the play, you see here, he beats man coverage too, which is also what's good. You get a streak, post probably, and then a slot fade. So you see Henry's user takes or in route, not post, and then the running back route is open. Just creating a high-low in the field. Was only able to get 3 yards. Normally that route beats man coverage a little better than that. See what Vose decides to do here on 2nd and 7. And yeah, this is a combo that so interesting combo that Vose does here. So I guess it's a cover 2 beater. So I guess that's why you do it. But so slot fade, and it's a seam streak. And then once you get on the back side of this, it's kind of interesting. So you get again, that in route, you get that post, and then you get that cross field route. The interesting piece of this is, it's really playing games off of this guy to a degree. But if this guy goes down in a hard flat, Vose might try to throw this. Or again, you're getting that yellow zone in a conflict. I'm not sure. But yeah, maybe he thinks maybe Vose can bend this slot fade that way. But you see here, user here, and then Vose, good job checking down. Has a little bit open, but just does a good job hitting that read underneath, taking the easy route. Sometimes it's, as I learned this week, studying Shador Sanders and the Browns, quarterbacks never go broke taking a profit. So there you go. Apply that to Madden. All right, let's see what Vose has in the red zone. Vose is in the Jets playbook, and I actually like that better. Henry's going to be in Binker Dimes. I personally don't think Binker Dimes is the best option. And the reason is primarily because of the red zone. So we'll see how Vose actually performs down here in the red zone. Because I think Jets has a really good red zone formation. A lot of quarterback runs here. Yep. And you see, I mean, that's free. Vose didn't have to think. And this is when you talk about, playing offense at the highest level, you're really what you're talking about, especially in Madden. You're talking about enough you want what you're really trying to optimize for. If you think about Madden based offenses, you're trying to optimize for efficiency. You're trying to optimize for efficiency. And so specifically in the red zone, you want to make offense as easy as possible because it is so easy to make a mistake on offense, throw a pick, make a bad read. Like, if you're going to be a passing based player. And so, anyway, like to see that from Jets. I think just those quarterback runs to the red zone, really powerful. They've been powerful all year, hard to guard. Now, Henry did get one. Now, Henry's going to be in this Bankert Dimes offensive playbook. A lot of people think this is the best playbook. It is a really good playbook until you get in the red zone. And that's going to be the interesting thing to kind of watch here. Now, real quick, I just wanted to highlight, the primary components of Vose's scheme. It is really relevant because I do think if you want to be a little bit more of a blitz, if you want to be more of I want to put consistent pressure on the quarterback, Vose is going to do that. Vose, pretty good defensive player, and he is going to primarily, base his defense around this double mug, and he's going to be trying to get consistent pressure. Now, there's some things that you can do, some games you can play with the scheme, and he will do that throughout this game. We'll talk about that. But really, the core of the scheme is he's in a cover two shell in the double mug. His safeties are on, I would assume, close and pinch here. Probably has hooks on 5. But then the biggest thing here is how he's going to send pressure. He's going to consistently send pressure off this running back side, and that is going to essentially force Henry to block the running back. If you block the tight end to try to block double mug, you can block it sometimes, but sometimes it will still come in. It's not very consistent because this is a true overload blitz. And so really you're primarily optimizing for this pressure over and over and over again. Now, the way that he's doing that is essentially he's going to have this guy in coverage. They could be all kinds of different coverages, but essentially you'll get man up. You might get a hard flat here. You might get a purple, and then you might get just straight cover 0 here. And then you'll get like a contain from this guy. You'll get a blitz, a blitz, a blitz, and then you'll get this guy right here. So Vose will then D-pad switch onto the curl flat or onto the hard flat generally. Again, we'll see how this all plays out, but that's kind of the core of the scheme is he's going to send these 4, and then he probably contains this guy. Okay. Henry's in Bunch of Tennessee very much the same as Vose. He's just in Benkert's playbook, and we'll talk about, some of the things that he is doing as he does them in this game. There is a cool play in Benkert's book that allows him to do something pretty cool. So anyway, as you see here, you get send 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You looks like you get that contain on. Actually, he does contain here. Now, what he does here, really interesting, is he essentially plays cover 3 cloud. So again, I just want to back this up and just highlight this because this is if you were to, what are the 2 best defenses in the game? It's probably these 2. These 2 are probably the top tier, and they're just honestly different styles. So what Vose likes to do a lot is he'll do like a hook over a flat, like a cover 3. So it looks something like this, okay? And then you're going to get pressure, and then you're going to get this flat. Now, why do these adjustments? Well, because you kind of have to. Spacing switch is such a threat, so you have to guard that, which is that right there. This middle third helps kind of take the seam streaks, right? This guy could be on a curl flat, could be on a flat, but he's going to guard the cross field route, okay? So anyway, we'll take a look at how this kind of plays out. And take a look at what Henry dials up first play. Kind of interesting. So he's going to go to spacing switch, and so he's going to use this flat, But then notice what he does. He uses a drag to the tight end. Again, very high level play. This is a Skimbo special, actually. And I like this play a lot. So this play is one of the plays you'll see Skimbo run a ton on a bunch of stats. There's really two versions of it, and there's only one real difference. So it's this right here. Now, why use the speed flat? Because you can then throw this flat goes all the way over here. And now if you don't have a hook, which this defense is going to be hard pressed to have a hook here, because why? Henry knows the blitz is coming here. So strategically, Henry basically just throws into the blitz. Okay. So that's the version 1. Version 2 is the same exact thing. The only thing that changes is instead of using the table route, now you use this route to attack this left side flat. And then the third variation is really the first two variations. It's just instead of streaks, you can do curls. And you can win a lot of games just using those 4 plays. So anyway, you see tight end drag, easy read, field. Now we'll see what he ends up doing here on second down. Curious to see how much he sends 5 out to. Okay, so let's see if he uses some pass pro. So here he is full. This doesn't make any sense. Why full slide here? Are they going to roll out? So roll out play? Nope, he's in base. Okay, so another little thing here, right? Just based on, again, just studying how Henry plays. Generally speaking, I think that his pass protection is going to be on base blocking in his coach adjustments. So he's just in straight base protection. So he knows the pressure is going to come in off this edge. He does ID this guy. This blitz does not always come in. It kind of depends on some factors, right? So he's going to ID this guy, try to just pick it up on a 5 out. And then the combo is a very standard high-low read, right? It's this corner. And I'll tell you, man, I love watching these games because when all the stakes are on the line, you're going to see their best plays. They're trying to be as efficient as possible. And so essentially what you get is you get a high, low here. And then if Vose switches over here, you're going to work this high, low in the middle. The main purpose, and really if you think about it, when you're playing someone that's, a good player and they're going to switch stick a lot, what you see a lot of these guys do is they'll have two concepts on the same play. So the first concept is to hold the user. So that's the purpose of this, is to really just try to get the user to have the user in this box. Then it opens up the main concept, which is the nice corner route and crossfield flat. So anyway, let's see how this all works out. So the blitz comes in. Notice Vose switches here. Okay. So this is great for Henry because where does he want to throw the ball? He wants to throw the ball over here probably. Okay. So anyway, gets to that crossfield flat, not able to get the ball there on time. That's the one negative to that route. As good of a route as that is, occasionally, especially if you're a blitzing heavy player, that route can get caught up sometimes in the blocking. Take a look here. This is short side bunch tight end, kind of putting a lot of space. Kind of a really interesting play, and he's able to hit the tight end. Wild to me. Honestly, pretty poor. I don't know how bad it actually is. Goes a cheat tight end H seam. He is going to block the running back. Now, again, just setting up the core scheme, right? The core scheme is blitz, 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 blitz. We know that, right? Then what we normally will see here is, just based off the standard of the play, you normally will get a half, a third, a curl flat or flat, and a hook. And then this got a contain and this got a hard flat. Those typically going to either switch to this side or this side based on a read he's making. So how does he actually play this play? And you see it's pretty much what I said. So he's engaged here for too long. That probably means he doesn't D-pad switch off. I don't know. He's trying to disengage his user. So the reason he's doing that is probably because Henry blocked somebody. And this is where I think double mug is like, it is a good defense, but it's really hard to run. Because he gets in this position here, now the third has to go guard this. This guy can't get there in time, and the seam is wide open. And then Henry does a good job of kind of holding. This is almost like a shot play. As you see, Vo switches here. That's got to be the switch, and he just can't get there. Just can't get there in time. He tries to. He's just a step late, and Henry's taking the top off the defense and getting an easy touchdown out of that. And that's where, like, to me, that's where cover three cloud can really get burnt is in the seam. Bose runs a lot of cover three cloud, but that seam area, especially when you're trying to send 5 consistently, that seam area can kill you. And Henry just schemed him up right there. Want short side bunch tight end to get into a space for that seam streak to have all that room on the left side to work. So little kicking strategy here. Let's take a look and see what Henry's doing on the kickoff. Always good to just kind of see this stuff. I don't know if he's deep kicking or not. I would assume he probably is. But he's going mid power right down the middle, trying to just put it right there probably. He did some sideline kicking too. I'm curious the difference. Why do one over the other? But anyway, see what Henry's doing on defense. A lot to learn on both guys' first drives, man. So much to learn schematically here. He's gonna put his flats. Yeah, he's kind of debating what he's gonna do defensively here. And it looks like he's gonna run the B gap version of dollar. No, he's not. Okay. I don't know what he did. He flipped his play, I guess. Anyway, so we see flipping. And there's that play again. So again, that play that Bose ran a second ago. Let's see what the ISO receiver's on. Corner route. So you get corner route, tight end wheel, stemmed or post, and then running back in route. So essentially, you're just really creating this high-low over this box, over this middle of the field. Takes it down to the dump down to the running back, 3 yards again. The Dylan Gabriel special. 3-yard pass after 3-yard pass. All right, we'll see what happens on 2nd and 7 here. A little flip into wide side bunch. And hits a nice seam streak. And now Henry gets caught trying to be in the cover 3 cloud and those seams. Bose hits it perfectly here. Yeah, kind of an interesting play. So what does Henry do here? 2nd and 7. It's probably that cover 2 again. Let's see if he shows the play art. Doesn't look like he's going to. Okay, so you're going to get blitz 1, 2, 3, 4. And then over here, look, you're getting hard flat. You're getting curl flat. This is probably an outside half or a third. They both run more sideliney this year. So what this does is it's going to do a really good job. But as you see, slot fade, corner route, streak, and that backside in route again. And then this time you get a backside running back post. What ends up happening is Henry does not switch it to the third to run him into position, and that seam streak roasts him over the middle. Vo's able to get a touchdown out of that, and now you got 14-7 Henry, or 14-7 Vo's. We'll see what Henry does on the offensive side of the ball in his second possession. There you see there at the bottom there, base brass protection. Again, the reason I don't like Binker Dimes personally is I don't feel like you actually gain that much because the best plays in Bunch X Nasty you have in those other books. And there you see a nice pass lead streak. So what Vose is going to do is he's going to mix. So he's going to go between a couple different defenses. One of the defenses is what we've been talking about, where you're going to get like cover three cloud. That's one defense that you're going to see. Because you're going to get blitz, and then you're getting contain. The other defense you're going to see is this one, man up with like a cloud or something, cover 0 basically, man up, and then like a hard flat or something. like basically man-to-man with 2 flat zones. When you get that look, which is what he gives here, you see here, take a look. So you get blitz, 1, 2, 3, 4. You get hard flat, you get man up. Henry blocks the running back. Okay. You should get cover 0. So Henry gets time here. And with this cover 0, the weakness of cover 0, the biggest weakness is the streaks. You can pass lead them inside if you're playing. You can pass it into leverage. So if the corner's inside, you would pass it outside. If the corner's outside, like he is here, you're just going to pass the ball to the middle. And the way that he's doing that is he's going to freeform it. So he's going to hold left trigger. He's going to hold his left joystick to the inside. And then he is going to try to get this perfect accuracy by releasing the ball when this gets to the specific timing. Okay. And he's on small. I believe he's on 7 out of 20. I know he's on small, though. And he was one of the first players, I feel like, this year doing small pass lead. And this was kind of honestly flukily discovered when you had the glitch that reset settings in Player Friend for a long time this year. That's really where this was kind of discovered. So anyway, they're good pressure by Vose, good table to the Jamal Charles. And again, I want you to notice high level game. You're going to see high level combos, right? High level game. This game is for a lot of money. Vose is basically playing for Madden Bowl, trying to get in. He's trying to get in the tournament, but he's also trying to put himself in a position to make Madden Bowl. Anyway, so he runs the same play Vose does basically. The only difference is Henry uses a return route. Good pressure by Vose, and he's just going to get to the dump down, gets a nice animation. Vose tried to switch stick it. He's in good position. What's crazy how a play that should have been maybe 3 yards or maybe a knockout or maybe even a pick turns into a 20-yard gain just because of just a step too second, a step late, right? Anyway, here is to get a block tight end look. I want to take a look at the block tight end look from Henry. First time I've seen him block the tight end. I wish we could see the slides. Okay, so it looks like he half slides left. It looks like he half slides left here. So why do this half slide left? You're going to get this kick out on the tackle. You see blocks it. When Vose sees you block somebody, I would assume that's why he just pulls out and goes into coverage. Good run, good hit there to the flat. Second and 3 from the 12. So this is where Benkert Dimes honestly really struggles. And Vose is going to let him get away with it with a nice route here. So, okay, so a common adjustment that this is why this play is in, I believe this play is in Jets. To me, you kind of need this right here because this route is really important. So you get a man up, and again, the common adjustment is that this is a hard flat or a cloud flat. But it's typically a flat or a third. Okay, you're not normally going to get flat, third, hook, right? You're normally not going to get that. So what Henry is going to do is he's going to try to pepper him in a spot that he's not used to having to defend. Okay, because of the other plays. So again, what are we using to hold the user? We're using a post and a drag. So let's just take a look at how this kind of practically plays out here. And he late puts this kind of flat, really odd. But anyway, so you see the user is engaged. Vose does not get off in time. This is the problem with double mug. This is the weakness of double mug. Is if you do this, sometimes you get stuck, right? Now, the way to get off is the D-pad, and Vose is not wanting to D-pad for whatever reason. Normally, you would see him D-pad switch to here, okay? Anyway, so as you see, this flat can never, ever in a million years defend this. And what's nice about this running back streak, and I'll show it real quick, this running back streak runs a little differently. So, the hot routed running back streak is like this, okay? This running back streak, if you take a look at the play art here, see how it's real short. So it's going to run quick. So watch how fast this goes. Boom. And right as Vose gets off to try to make the play on the route, he's a step too late. That's been the story of this game so far for Vose on the defensive side of the ball. He has been just a little too late, 2 or 3 times. And Henry really the same way so far. I mean, he's been close to stops. And this just kind of highlights how good both these players are. They're both really good players. And it kind of comes down to, these big games, it comes down to scoring in the red zone consistently, but also comes down to, you know, perfect timing. 15-yard curl flats for Henry. Probably labbed up that those 15-yard curl flats is probably the answer to the short corners. See how Henry's been playing pretty good defense so far. We'll see what he's able to do here. That seam streak was too easy. That's good defense. Look at these D line. Whatever he's got on these D line, man. So here's another bunch tight end, kind of basic shell. You got that curl flat at 15. I think he's basically using that to try to handle this. Okay. Hard flat. Yeah, I mean, there's a spacing route, but doesn't really matter that much. And then the hook. Why the hook here? Probably for the running back Texas, I would think. But anyway, so you see a man up. So he mans this up. Not sure why. Because this route is normally going to get covered by that. But anyway, mans it up. Plays good. And you see here the problem. Completely outflanked here. So Vose is eventually going to throw the tight end, but he can't. And that 15-yard curl flat did a good job over there on that sideline of mid-pointing the corner and also being in position to rally down and tackle the drag route. Nice route right there by Vose. Love this route. So this is a formation. I'm surprised we have not seen more people run it. Lambeau's made a lot of money this year running this basic offense here. Last year, one of the better offenses in the game. Take a look at how Vose runs it. Kind of a neat play. I think this is motion dig under. I don't know what he's going to do over here on the left side, but essentially what you're going to get is you're going to get a tight end wheel, you're going to get a running back streak, and then you're going to get some kind of crosser. It could be a post, it could be a in route, it could be a crosser, like something, right? But effectively, you're getting this into the seam, crosser, and then typically you're going to get like a fade or clear out, and you're going to get a drag underneath of it. Really high level play. What it does is it attacks cover 4 based defenses, which is what Henry's in. So he's going to, instead of trying to attack the sidelines, which he's been doing with Bunch, now he's going to attack the middle of the field, and he's going to be able to throw this guy in this pocket. He's going to be able to throw the running back in this pocket. And then if this guy was on an end, he'd be able to throw him in this pocket, creating essentially a triangle over the middle of the field. So as you see here, you get this, whatever this is, post, cross, or whatever. He actually uses a corner, so this might be the motion angle play. It actually is the motion angle play now that I see it. So let me show you what he's actually doing. That other play is going to basically attacks a very similar area of the field, but this is a short corner, drag, a more of a seam wheel, a streak, and then this guy is like a crosser. Okay. So this crosser really would throw it right there. So as you see here, there's just no way for Henry's user to defend all 3 in the middle. So good read by Vose. See if he takes it to the end of the first quarter. He's not going to. 3rd and 4 on the 34. And little flood combination. Backside in route. Nice read. That was too easy for Vose on the 3rd down here. Let's take a look at what he does. Yeah, so essentially you're going to get corner route, streak. This is just basic doubles. This is a day 1 combination. It's just PA snag, basically, yeah. So you got drag, seam streak clearing out. You've got a short post working in this high area of the middle of the field. And then you just have a flat. So Vose has a lot of stuff he can hit. He could actually hit the corner probably. I don't know if he slot faded him. I guess he slot faded him. But anyway, hits the post over the middle. Probably because he knew that Henry would be putting those yellows down on those 5-yard yellows and was able to hit it quick enough before Henry was able to switch. And another good read from Vose. I think doubles is honestly just so much better than what people have been I think seeing doubles is better than what people have been, I guess, showing with how much use case it gets in Comp Madden. It's not getting a ton of use this year. Take a look at what Vose does here, real quick, kind of a glitch route. So he, what's that flip? He flips in a bunch X nasty here. So kind of a glitch play that it's just kind of good to know. Is it really that big of a deal? I don't know that it necessarily is. But essentially, he's going to go for a one-play touchdown here. And so what he has is he has a slot fade on this. He flips a slot fade. That guy runs that route. The way you do that is with those auto motion routes. So because he's in motion cross post, when he flips, when that guy crosses the line, he gets the flipped variation of the routes. So, fun fact. Does it again here, hits it here. So here he's going to do it a bunch tight end. He's got another little motion glitch play. And you see, he hits it that time. I don't think they're that amazing. I mean, it's cool, but it's not like game breaking. Little RPO. Surprised we didn't see him run more of this RPO, but again, this is why I like Jets, man. This is why I like Jets. There's a lot of stuff like this. Like this bubble is in Benkert dimes, but you just see like you just have a lot of options in the red zone in Jets. I just feel like you have so many options. You have a trips tight end. You have an ace slot with a short post on the tight end. You have quarterback runs galore. You have bubbles like Jets. And then also I'd put Saints in that category. Saints has a really good red zone. Saints does not have bunch tight end, but Saints has trips tight end flex. It has bunch X nasty and doubles flex close. And then it has some other kind of bubblegum type, make the game easy formations within it. All right, so ball on the 27, and now you're kind of going down the stretch of the half here. Henry is really good in situations like this. You know, Henry is one of those players where he's normally just never going to beat himself, and this is an example of what you'll see him do here. So I'm surprised he didn't run the ball there, but more than likely, this is probably the last drive of the first half. You do have X cross, I guess, in this bunch X nasty, so I guess that might be why people run it. But how often do you really see Henry run X cross? Another scramble up there with Steve Young, doing a good job managing the pocket. 3rd and 1. Now he's gonna get some clock going. Double mug here from Vose. Again, that ID the mic. You got 2 curls. Little rollout play, natural rollout play. It's a real nice read. So this is a great play if we back this up. So, again, oftentimes you get, slot fade, corner. But what you're going to get here is you're going to get a cross route. So you're going to get that cross. He's actually going to run the streak. Now, why run the streak here, by the way? Because in double mug, Vose always uses Tampa 2 shell. But like I said, he goes between, really a couple defenses. But the main two is the all-out man coverage. And then the cover 3 cloud. Well, these auto motion plays, if Vose is in the man coverage variation, this guy will run all the way across the field with this motion defender. If this guy is zoned, he will stay. So there's a little tell to double mug. And Henry's using this to gain information more than likely. Is he running man or zone? If he's running man, this corner route works. If he's running zone, these 2 curls are going to be better answers probably. So I think that's kind of the core of what he's trying to do. So you see right there, see how he stays. Henry now knows it's zone. So you see you get cover, really aggressive cover two. Now, why is Vos playing really aggressive? Probably to try to force a turnover or get the ball back. Henry does a good job going down right there, avoiding a hit. Vos is going to play really aggressive, but now you see Henry going to go on shoot clock and try to basically put himself in a position to be able to clock the rest of this half out. See how he ends up accomplishing that if he runs the ball a little bit. Now here's the glitch play from Henry. Kind of getting late in the clock, gonna just check it out on the run. Goes halfback off tackle, gets good yards. Henry changes the camera angle so that he gets a little better run vision. We'll see when he goes back to that play, but essentially using motion plays like that also allow you to give the running back glitched hot routes when you audible to a running back motion play. So this is a bounce motion into a run. Boom. Nice little run there. Gonna get that down to the 2 now. It should be another run. See how the camera angle is in his run camera angle. It's about 3. Bunch tight in. Now here's the glitched hot route. So he audibles to this play. Take a look here. So he audibles to this play. I don't know for sure what it's called. I want to say it's spot X post or something like that. Spot X spot, or I don't know, something that starts with that. But it's a motion play. So take a look. So you see, or motion X, whatever this play is, motion whatever. But it's in bunch tight in, and it has the short post. It is in Benkert's playbook, but basically motion, and then immediately you see that immediately he puts this guy on a tight end wheel, and he puts him on a tight end wheel that goes to the right side of the field. So what he was able to do by doing that, and the reason that it helps is because now he has a cross route within bunch tight end. He's created essentially a cross route within bunch tight end. Okay. The rest of the stuff is pretty standard. He's going to check it down into a run play anyway. Kind of a standard Henry thing to do. Audible to a pass play, and at the last second, audible to run play, snap it. Why does he do that? Probably because it helps with the icons. Sometimes when you run the ball, the icons give a tell, or there's certain little things that happen within play art that could give you a tell that it's a run. So if Vos is looking at his play art, he could know it's a run. This way, just a little bit of again, I'll tell you what, when you watch Henry play offensively, he is a very, very, very systematic offensive player in the sense of he's going to do this and that, and it's going to be consistently. So he's going to do his hot routes, but he's never planning to run, never planning to pass. He's going to check to a run, boom. See how fast he snapped the ball. Now he has the free touchdown. He's going to go down. Why do that? Because he was able to take Vos's timeouts. As you see there, that was Vos's last timeout. Now, in Henry's mind, I would say he's pretty good scoring now. So, he's probably planning to not necessarily try to score. He'll probably run the ball at least one more time. But essentially, I would think, so you see he gets blown up there, able to break the tackle, and is able to go down at the 1. So now he's at the 1 yard line. Relatively easy to score from the 1. If you have a couple shots at it, he's going to run the ball, try to get it in for a touchdown. And then, as you see here, he's going to take the clock. So here's the motion run. Let's see what he ends up doing. Checks to a run at the last second, RPO bubble, able to dive in for a touchdown, and he's going to go ahead and take the 7. So he ends up scoring with 40 seconds. So Vos is going to have some time here, but pretty great job there of, just taking the half. And we'll see how he plays end of half defense. Looks like he's putting the 10-yard flats, 20-yard. I would assume his hooks are going to be higher up too, probably 10-yard hooks, 20-yard curl flats. A little dump down there from Vos. Was hoping to get out of bounds, didn't. That's going to hurt him. Is now no timeouts. playmakers upfield, trying to get him in position to be able to do something. Doesn't need that many more yards for a field goal, though. In this game, kickers can kick pretty far. So you're going to see a spike here, and then he's going to try to have one dot out of bounds for either a field goal. To me, in that situation, yeah, it's 10 flats, 20 curls, and then standard hooks. But, man, 7 seconds, what do you do here? Got to throw it quick, right? Throws right into a covered defender. So Bo's here going to go short side. Now he's trying to basically bait Henry into playing cover 2 and try to have this bomb. But effectively, it's just that simple clear out play. Good defense there. But I mean, the throw's got to be right there and try to get out of bounds, I would think. But Vose is maybe thinking he can ag him. Not able to get it done. 3rd and 10. And now you're in a Hail Mary situation. Vose was right on the edge of field goal range, which is crazy to say that. But in this game, you could kick field goals from, I think, basically at least 70 yards, which would be from the 40. Not 40. It'd be from the 50, basically. You'd have to get to about midfield because you have the 10-yard end zone, and then you have the other one. But anyway. And there it is. That's the end of the first half. Take a look at what happens here in the second half. Henry gets the ball. Another big reason for that 1.5 clock. And this is where Henry has the ability to be able to hopefully take control of this ball game. See what he ends up deciding to do. Obviously, I kind of want to see Henry have the best bad season ever. There's not a ton of certainty next year with the MCS and what's going to happen. And so if Henry's able to get it done, one more time and ends up topping the best season ever, that'd be pretty cool, especially because of how bad of a year he had last year. It really was one of those things where, the thought, because the way Henry plays, he's more of a adjustment-based player, and you would have thought, did switch stick actually super hurt him that bad? And it looked like it did until this year. So anyway, so we'll see what he's able to do if he's actually able to get this live event under his belt, and then a little post route, nice read. He's kind of playing a little cat and mouse in terms of things here. A little auto motion, another run. Now, why is he seems to be playing fairly conservative there. Now, why play conservative like that? This run looks to be like a run you need to auto put in your bunch tight end. But what's really interesting here is that he's running a couple times, right? And Henry's definitely not a runner, right? I mean, he'd be our first to tell you, he does. Don't ask him about running the ball. But Vose has not been able to consistently stop the run in that 2-minute drive. And so Henry's making the game easy on himself here, trying to come out, just get into the lead of the game. Good pressure there by Vose. Good pressure by Vose. Take a look here. This is 3-3 Cub. So Vose, why did he go to 3-3 Cub? Probably better run D, right? But this defense is essentially, it's very similar to double mug. You're sitting 5, and you're going to D-pad switch out, basically. So Henry that's why Henry right here, he full slides, because he's guaranteed that this guy pretty much never blitzes. But pass pro doesn't work, and pressure comes in. Second down and 10 from the 16. Red zone opportunity for Henry here. Curious to see what he ends up doing. It does look like Vose is going to stay in stay in 3-3 Cub here. This time the blitz doesn't come in. Works that backside return route. I will say those backside return routes have kind of been bugging me. They are not getting great separation against man coverage right now. Not at all. 3rd down and 9. Pressure off the left here. Good pressure. Good read to the running back. Now it's decision time. 4th and 2 from the 8. What does Henry do? Henry's going to take field goal here. Why? It doesn't even seem like it's really that much of a decision. The reason is because of the clock. Okay. So realistically, Henry knows that because there's so much time left in this game, that he's going to be able to get the ball back, and now he's in the lead of the game. He's in front of the pace of the game. And so now he's in a situation where if he's able to get a stop, he's able to go up 2 possessions. If Vose goes down and gets a touchdown and makes it 28-24, then Henry still can get back in the front of the game. And depending on how long this drive takes Vose, this could even be potentially setting up for the last drive. So there's that slot fade thing. That bomb's not going to work twice, and Henry's able to stop that with a switch. That's the biggest thing about bombs in this game. There are a lot of bombs in this game, but if you're, when you're playing at the highest level, people are just going to switch stick those beaters and take those away. Little corner route. I love this. I actually love this play from Bose. This is becoming one of my favorite plays, and I think I saw him running it consistently early, but it's real simple. It's a spacing switch, so you have a high-low on the left here, and then on the backside, you've got a streak, a post, and not a return route. He's using a baby in route, not a drag route either, baby in route, and then he'll playmaker that in route based on what he sees. So as you see here, corner route should have, I love that because what I love about these two combos, it's such a simple combo, but it beats everything. It just beats everything. As you see there, he creates 2 high-low reads, real easy for the eyes to be able to see who's open, and it's just such a efficient play call. And I think he should have called that more throughout this game. Goes to doubles here, and gets kind of an interesting play here. I'll take a look back at it. Not sure what he does here. Is this the... Okay, so this is motion dig under. Basically, it's got a short corner here, running back streak. And then he's going to use like a post, stem down post to the tight end. See, this spacing right here is pretty bad. Works out for him, but I hate how the tight end posts run. I wish we had make so much... The game would be so much better, not better, but it'd just be more fun if you had the ability to consistently have a tight end short post, like just as a hot route. You didn't have to glitch it, but you had it. What was that route to the tight end? Also notice Henry is mixing in some send threes. I guess the tight end just chipped that D end really bad, and then he got stuck. Ended up working out for Bose there. So Henry's consistently flipping his play every time. I'm curious. I wonder if that gives him a better alignment from the safety position. Good run to the running back there. Let's see, 24-21. It's basic coverages too, by the way. It's basically cover 3. It's a nice switch stick right there. So take a look at what Henry does. I love watching Henry when he plays switch, when he uses switch stick, because the way that he does it is he kind of like stays in his area, and he's actually, if you think about it, he's actually looking at the routes. He's not really looking at his user, and he sees this, so he's going to switch here and snap on it. Boom. And just in time, that pressure comes in. Now you get a 2nd and 17. Henry's going to put his curl flats on. I think so. He put his curl flats on 25. So send 3 pass commit, Mabel coverage on the right. This has been the defense. I mean, honestly, look at this thing, man. Look at this thing just bag. Who said Mabel was dead? 25-yard curl flat. I think a 10-yard flat on both sides. Why? Try to get him to a 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12. This is such a basic coverage. Like, it is such a basic coverage. And watch it just work. See what does he do? He's got a hook. He switches here to run this guy. Why? Because he's on a streak. So you see, he gets him in position. He gets back on this guy to take this. Corner route's dead. The only throw is here. And then that's into a 10-yard hard flat. So that hard flat will rally tackle. So he got 1 yard. So now he's going to go back to default and he's going to leave those 20-yard curl flats. 3rd and 16. Wouldn't be mad at the exact same defense, honestly. But I don't think. I think those mid read here for a curl, I guess, or an in route. Ugly play. 4th and 16. What happens here? So cover 3. You know, again, Vose knows the corner route's not going to be there. Henry's going to play those curl flats back. What I would have done here on 3rd and 16 is I would have done something like this and then taken that running back route or a backside drag. I would have tried to hit it underneath and then break a tackle upfield. Vose decides to go to flat motion halfback choice, this tight end post. So he's really looking for this right here. See, I would have thrown that. I would have thrown that 100 out of 100 times. Even though Henry's user's on it, I still throw this tight end drag. I think maybe what he's thinking is if he buys time, this guy will get open, but I don't know. Got pressured, sacked, 4th and 16. And that couldn't have worked out better for Henry because, you know, Vose had to feel really, really good about getting that stop in the red zone. And then Henry's able to come back, get a red zone stop, get another, not necessarily technically a full-on red zone stop, but kind of, right? Gets a stop in scoring range. And then now he's still in the lead of the game. It's like Henry would have scored 7. So, you know, 24-24, Henry's ball, 1 minute and 1 second left in the 3rd quarter. Now you're kind of getting down the stretch of the game. How do you want the game to end? There will be some things that we, you know, schematically, you'll probably see Vose try to, if I'm Vose here, the best, since again, we talk about down the stretch of the game, right? And it's in Henry's best interest to probably score quickly. May run, does look like he is going to run here. But I would think it's in his best interest to score quickly. I'm maybe just going to look at the run, see what it looks like here, but you got a penalty for audibling too much. The reason being is because when Vose gets the ball back, Vose is probably, if you're in Vose's shoes, the best position for Vose is probably to make the next time he has the ball the last drive of the game. So that would then change how Vose plays defense. Vose would probably play defense through this drive. Really, he's obviously just got to get a stop, but also schematically, right? He's playing more, I would think he plays more zone coverage because it's in Vose's worst interest, in my opinion, for Henry to score quickly on this drive. So anyway, those are just some different things. Interesting play call by Henry. Yeah, I hated this. This was a worst play call of the day. Does he block the tight end? So he blocks the running back seam. He's already on a 2nd and 12, so a little bit of a depth here. There's just nothing underneath. Look at this. Everything is deep. Running back didn't block either, but which is why, obviously, why he blocked the running back there to get a little extra time. Maybe he wanted to hit that tight end underneath, but I just didn't love that play call. I just feel like he didn't give himself. There's so many other plays he could have called that are just better plays. And I think that was a hyper-specific thing. I do wonder why he's doing this motion a lot. Curious as that. Is he just trying to get... Yeah, it's in there. Hits Jettas over the top. That's a touchdown. And that wasn't Vose's worst interest, honestly, in my opinion. So, okay, so let's back up the tape. He's running short side bunch tight end and auto motion fade. Auto motion wheel. Not sure why. He did this earlier. This was for the cover 3 cloud aspect. So what Vose does is, but why wouldn't you have like a drag that you could hit right here? Just curious. But you see Vose Coverage is out. No flat. Running back will be open. Bose decides to try to switch stick to basically bluff the flat and then go to the fade. He switch sticks himself into a bad position, and Henry's able to lob that cheat motion wheel over the top for a touchdown. I just thought that sequence was so interesting. Short side bunch tight end. And I just, yeah. I mean, I would have, maybe it's because of the way Henry's, or maybe it's because of the way Vose is blitzing. And yeah, just trying to put the safeties in a ton of, I don't know. I don't know. Worked out for him. Got a touchdown out of it. Did not love the plays, but don't have to. You got a touchdown out of it. So now Henry's in about as good of a position as you could be in. 31 to 24. This is a great position for Henry. He can play defense. He can just basically try to get a stop. He doesn't have to try too hard to get a stop. He doesn't have to sell out or anything like that. He just tries to get a stop. And then if he doesn't get a stop, he gets to be able to get the ball back and go downfield and get a field goal. Like he is in the winning position. This is, and he hasn't gotten a stop yet in this game, I believe, other than the one red zone stop, which they both got. So, you know, he's in the winning position of this game without actually stopping Bose, right? So anyway, that's why it's so important to kick the ball in these games and to manage the game and to manage the end of half scenarios. So here you see again. This has just consistently been the thing, man. This has been the story, I think, in the game. 3rd and 7. So he's got him in a depth here, right? And Vose just hasn't ran the ball. And so what you're going to get is you're going to get hard flat, curl flat, and you're going to get a pass committed 3-man rush. Switch sticks there, takes that away, almost gets a sack. Almost he's actually probably going to throw an interception here. So you see here, bagged, slot fade, post. And Henry is switching that post as he's throwing it. 4th and 7. 10-yard flats. Surprised he took his curl flats and put them back on default here. This should be a send 3. I would bet Henry sends 3 here. Nope, he is going to send 4. Goes to the slot, flayed pay, has it, and gets an overthrow. Yeah. I mean, dials up the bomb, knows Henry's going to play aggressive, try to get off the field. Doesn't ultimately mean that Henry wouldn't have been in a winning position anyway. But that's a big play. That's a big play, 1-play touchdown, overthrow. And that's, if you really get down to brass tacks, like, I would assume that Vose got it inaccurate because he missed time to throw. Don't know for sure. This is why I've kind of been small pass lead is like good and bad. You know, like the good of it is you can freeform a streak against man coverage and beat pretty much any kind of cover 0. The bad of it is stuff like that, where sometimes you'll overthrow a wide open player because you bend it too much or whatever. So anyway, you're going to see runs here from Henry. Henry just wants to make this a 2-possession game. He'll probably run every play. I'd be surprised if he passes the ball. He's already going on shoot clock. 34-24, 2-possession lead is really what I think he's after. Audible to. And what's interesting is that he's actually ran the ball pretty well. And as you see, I mean, look at these blocks he's getting on these runs. That was actually pretty bad run vision. I think he had the middle wide open there. That's really unfortunate for Vose, though. I mean, had him wide open. He dialed up the dot. He had him, and he just wasn't able to complete it. And you're gonna pass on 2nd and 4 and bubble screen. I actually love. How do you not love the bubble screen call here, though? Right, Vose playing heavy run defense. Just pop a little bubble screen, get him a first down, 300 yards, no interceptions. Been a very efficient game for Henry. I feel like he had maybe one bad play call all game that didn't really work out for him offensively. That little zig there is because he messed up the hot route. So he's going to check into a run. He's probably always going to check into the run anyway. Look how good that run is. Was that just the inside zone? No, that was the off tackle. Shout out to Banker Dimes, man. If it can run the ball like that. Trio halfback weak. It's got to go to this play. It's got a inside zone. It's also got a QB blast in it. That's pretty good. It is a trips type formation. It's okay. I just feel like I said, the one time we saw Vose get into the real red zone, the other time was more of we were still on the outskirts, but the one time we saw Vose actually get into the red zone in this game, it was the easiest touchdown ever. I mean, it was such a free touchdown. I didn't feel like you just had no, the quarterback runs, and Jets just has so many quarterback runs. But I mean, so does or Benkert Dimes has a lot of good runs out of bunch tight end. So could argue that too. All right, let's get up here. See what happens. Quarterback blast goes down there. 3rd and goal. Henry probably happy that happened. Henry's just trying to take all this clock, right? He's trying to take as much clock as possible. Takes it all the way down and calls a timeout right there just to get that little extra. 3rd and goal from the 3. Now, to me, do you try to score here or do you just run? Probably just run here just because there's just no time for Vose. There's just no time. Quarterback blast, not going to get it done. And that's going to be a field goal. Takes it all the way down. 34-24. Henry, 54 seconds. See what his end of game defense looks like. Those 20-yard curl flats, safeties on close and pinch. And he's going to be in kind of a walkover loop here. Just going to send 3 in pass commit. Super deep curl flats. And I like that by Vose, just getting some yardage, getting the draft started. Problem is, Vose is just down by so many points here. Like 2 possessions is just a massive lead here with the time situation. Other pressure. And I mean, look at these D linemen. We haven't even really talked about this too much, but these double or nothings, they are shedding. That time I think he got a loop. Did he actually get the loop to come in? Shout out to the loop blitz. The loop finally looped. I actually feel like the B gap loop is honest. I don't know. It's so hard to just. Do you think the B gap or the A gap loop? The A gap loop is cool, but man, I feel like the B gap loop is. I feel like you get more. You get him to come in more on a B gap. Here's the B gap again. Now he's gonna coverage out, blitz him. Yep. This is just basic cover 4 drop, blitzing that guy. I think Vose is in play action. That kills the loop. Gonna bring up a 3rd and inches. Didn't get the loop to come in that time. Got a little disengage, got a timer, got the pressure, and that is going to do it. Henry makes the 0 chill live event. That means he's made every live event this year with the exception of Jared Turney, which was, I don't even think I don't know that counted for MCS anything. It was just a Thanksgiving Day tourney type thing. Anyway, bottom line is Henry is also secured with this win. He secures the number 1 seed for Madden Bowl as well. And so he's going to have the opportunity to get another belt at 0 chill and then the opportunity to really put the final stamp on his resume at Madden Bowl for not only the best Madden player of all time, but also potentially eclipsing what Fancy was able to do last year and becoming the best individual season of all time. So shout out to Henry, shout out to Bose. Good game, great game. I thought this was a great game. There was so much going on in the game, and it was one of the better defensive battles between two players that are basically defensive. So thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the breakdown. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll leave links to these guys' stuff down in the description, and credit to both of them for streaming this incredible, incredible matchup.